Hi there, welcome to another Stampin' with Faith fun video. I am going to show you how I made this miniature version of a stamp positioner. Yes, I do have a real one, but I found it was heavy, big, cumbersome, and not as portable as I wanted it to be. And I needed something to take on, you know, a trip in the car where there's small space, or the RV, or to a scrapbooking crop where I didn't want to take my whole scrapbooking room. You guys know how that is. So you are going to need a CD case. This one is just a standard audio case. You can get them, you know, any big box store. Best Buy has them. Whatever you may need. And I have already taken the little spindle out of the inside, so you don't have to mess with that. And that's just an easy little pop it out piece. The other thing that you are going to need is a magnetic sheet cut to the size of the bottom, not the lid, but the bottom of your CD case. And most CD cases, if they're anything like the ones I have, the top portion is a different dimension, so keep that in mind. So you just cut it to the size, and then you're going to slide that right into the bottom. You do not have to tack this down with any adhesive. It will stay. You can tack it down if you want, but we're going to be using some really strong heavy magnets here in just a minute. The other thing that you are going to need is just a sheet of craft foam. This is very flexible, very thin, nothing fancy. I think 25 cents at Walmart is what I paid. Anyhow, and you're going to also cut that to size. Now, this one, I had already done one before, so this one isn't the exact size. Here, I'll show you the one I did before. See, it's, you know, exact measurements. This is just the parts left over, so to speak. Okay, so the other thing I have done is you want to take, once you get your foam in, and make sure you put it all the way in the corner. If yours is like mine and came up just a tad short, that's fine. And then you want to take your ruler and you want to go from corner to corner, and then you're going to use a Sharpie. I've already done this for us, and you're going to draw a line and make sure it measures corner to corner. Then you're going to take your ruler and go the opposite way. You're basically making an X. Only this time you're only going to make a little mark right here in the center. And I don't know if you can see this on camera, but I have made just a little tiny X there in the center. There you go. Now you can see it. Just a little tiny X right there in the center. And that's going to line up our grid. Now, before we attach the grid, we are going to need, and I'm using large ones, 5 large glue dots. And we're going to place them on the lid portion. And with glue dots, it's easiest to take the glue dot to whatever you're going to put it on. So I'm just leaving the glue dots with their backings on for just a minute. And putting them right on my lid. And again, my grid's already cut to size. When I did my magnet and foam, you're going to cut your grid. So then you'll just peel the backing off, leaving the glue dot on your lid. And you'll do that for all 5 of them here. And then once you've got that done, you're going to slide this back over. And then you're going to see my grid is done just on a window sheet, acetate. I printed out a grid from the internet, put it through my copier, took it to a copy machine, had them make it darker than my original so that my lines were very crisp and you could see them very easily. I brought my own window sheets with me that were scrapbook archival safe. Had them print on it using a laser printer. I made 4 or 5 copies because there were 2 to a page, and I think less than $1 in less than 5 minutes I was out the door. So that was awesome. So now you're going to find your center of your grid. Because my lid is smaller, a little bit shorter than my top. That's why my grid doesn't look like the same size. So you're going to close the lid, and you're going to press on those 5 little dots just a little bit. Mostly the center one will do it. Press it in a little, just a little press. Don't press too hard or you'll crack it. And then you make sure your grid's lined up. And then just kind of rub it down, burnish it down just a little bit. And there you have it. You have just made your own stamp positioning tool. So I'm going to show you how this works. Flip that over so you can't see those marks, not that you needed. When you put your cardstock in the corner, this is with photopolymer, you're going to need this mat. I also went online and I purchased some magnets. The magnets, I've just covered them with washi tape that looks like a little ruler. Nothing fancy there, but that's going to hold that paper in place. So then I'm going to find my position of where I want my stamp to land on my stamp positioner. See if I can zoom just a tiny bit so you can see that. There you go. So I've got my stamp on my stamp positioner. I've got my magnet there. So now what we're going to do is simply just close the door. Give it a little love tap. Just smush it in a little. And there you go. Now, your stamp is right there on the door. So I'm going to ink it up. I'm just using a little ink spot from a paper pumpkin kit, Watermelon Wonder. Now the stamp set that I'm using, this heart, if you haven't seen it, this is the Bloomin' Love. The stamp set is in the Occasions catalog that does continue until May 31st. So if you don't have one and you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, let me know and I'll help you get one. Okay, so then you are going to, once you got your stamp inked up, just simply close the door. And then you want to press on your stamp, not too hard, again, you know, cracked plastic. Just kind of give it a little walk. Open it up. And look at that. There you have it. A very clean and crisp, very, 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 very beautiful image. And that is your homemade stamp positioner. However, it does also work with the standard clear mount stamps as well. You're just going to take your piece of foam out. So you take your foam out, get us a new piece of paper. I'm going to put my magnets back on to hold it in place. And that's just so that when you lift up your stamp, because you have a moisture in your stamp, it's going to want to stick to that paper. So if you have the magnets there, then the paper won't peel up with it. I'm going to position my stamp where I want it. And again, this one's a clear mount. Close the door. Give it a little tap. And open the door. There you go. See, my stamp's right there. So then we're going to ink it up. Okay, got thorough ink on the stamp. We're going to close the door. Give it a little press, a little walk with your fingers, nothing fancy. And there you go. You're going to open the door. And now again, you have a clean, clear, crisp, beautiful image. Whatever image you can put in here. Most of the stamps I find that I use aren't any bigger than a 5x5 space. If I get a stamp bigger than that, it's usually a background stamp, so I'll use the original stamp positioner for that. But there you go. There you have it. You now have your own stamp positioner in a nutshell. The other thing, though, I would caution about is these magnets. Purchased them online. I think I got 2 of them for $3 or something, really inexpensive. But they are super strong. So that is why there is washi tape on them. So when they go together, you have little tabs you can pull off because they are super strong, if you can hear that. Those are my tips. That's my homemade stamp positioner. Thanks for watching, and again, you can send me a message. You just click on all the stuff below the video. Leave me some comments down here, or you can visit me on my website, and my website is www.stampinwithfaith.com. Have a great day.